What's up, everybody? Super excited to hang out with you today. So, if you are around, join me. And if you catch on the replay, let me know. So, today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can go from having no coaching clients or no clients to booking sales calls with your perfect match clients in a matter of days, not months or years. And you don't have to do a client avatar and all of the stuff that many coaches sometimes like to convince you to do. And how doing this is what will make possible for you easily 10K in a week, even after maybe a long period of time with nothing. Cool? All right, friends. So, of course, ask questions as we go. Let me know your thoughts. Anything that stands out. Of course, I always want to hear your feedback. So first of all, what I'm going to be showing with you today is, where are these amazing clients? Because if you've been in a bit of a dry spell, you're probably wondering, like, where'd they all go? And once you find them, and I'll show you how to find them, of course, how to book calls with them so they are pre-sold so that you can get that 10K week that you desperately want and desire and deserve, honestly. So, many times if you've worked with any number of coaches or been in any type of program, and I've been there, a lot of times coaches will tell you, you just need to do a client avatar. And, I've done so many of these. And they'll have you write down, where they live and what kind of car and, what their, relationship status is, maybe what kind of clothes they wear, where they vacation. So all of these things are not going to get you sales, because what you're doing is you're creating this fictitious being that doesn't actually exist. And it's very general. You can find, thousands of people that have a similar relationship status, that want a 10K month, for example, that want to travel to Iceland. Like, it's all, and are afraid, they're never going to be able to do what it is that they truly desire. There's many, many, many people like that. And so when you're speaking to many, many, many people, of course, what happens is no one hears you. So really, it's not beneficial. It's honestly, I feel like if I could take all the time back I spent doing that, I would, because it didn't actually serve me. Because what serves you is you have to be serving to a real, live, breathing person. And I'm going to share with you how you can do that. Because, just to give some background, my background is in psychology. So, the study of human behavior, which leads into the study of the mind, and like, why do we think the way we do? And like, how do we perceive ourselves and how do we perceive the world? And a lot of this comes from, experiences in childhood about what was safe to do and say, and what it was safe to be, honestly. And then I went on to get my master's in communication, because how we communicate says a lot about our internal world as well. The words we choose really says a lot about our upbringing, about what happened in our childhood. And of course, that's going to impact your relationships. And of course, any sort of sales is all about relationships. So this all goes together to really help you see the reason behind why there's so many coaches that are stuck with, inconsistent sales, why there's so many coaches doing, a lot of things they don't really need to do. Okay, cool. All right. So how you can really understand, who are the real people, real breathing people that you are meant to serve in your practice. I'm going to go through 3 steps. Okay. So the first step is creating a process. And really that process is going to come from your unique gifts, which comes from your background, your upbringing, those moments in your childhood that really shaped you. And a lot of times those can be, they're not always like super traumatic, but they're moments that, of course, challenge your identity, because how you are viewed is going to contribute to how you view yourself, right? So when you create your process through the lens of what it is that you do that no one else does, from your unique spiritual gifts, you start to see that you do things in a certain way that no one else does. And then the way you do those things are perfectly matched for specific people going through a specific challenge or issue. And when they go through your specific process, they will get phenomenal results, and not just anyone is going to get that. It has to be very specific people. And so the more you work with someone that can help you really uncover those unique spiritual gifts and see what's blocking you from seeing them, and really, blocking you from seeing what it is that you do with your clients. Because a lot of times when I've worked with, clients in the past, they're very vague about what they do with their clients, because maybe they've been taught by another coach and they're using some other coach's system. So it doesn't even feel authentic, and they kind of feel like a fraud. And sometimes don't even want to coach because they don't feel like they're powerful enough, because they're not doing it from who they truly are and how they're uniquely wired. So when you design your process from a very different place, you start to see your clients very intimately. Like, you start to see what they think they need and how your program is actually what they need. And then you also see why, because it's understanding the reason behind this. It's the logic behind change. It's not just the emotion behind change, because we all experience different emotional states, and there's been lots of emotional states we've all been in, I'm sure, where you think, oh, yeah, this is it, I'm going to change, but then often you go back into the same old pattern, right? So it's understanding why that happens, the psychology of it, and the way the brain is wired that keeps that pattern continuing, right? So when you understand intimately who this person is, a real, live, breathing person, what their secret fears are, like what they're afraid if they haven't told anyone, and what their true desire is, their desire beyond just, the 10K months or a thriving coaching practice. There's something much deeper. When you become aware of that, then you start to see those people all around you in your world. And what makes that possible is that you start to change how you see yourself. So your own perception of yourself starts to change, which changes the wiring in your brain, because the wiring a lot of times is set on a default of protection, being in like defensive mode, because there's this deep-rooted, in all of us, deep-rooted fear of loss. Something might happen. We might lose family. We might lose friends. We might lose money. We might lose status. And so your brain is going to always be operating out of how to protect you from that. But when you do the work to really uncover your unique spiritual gifts, you start to see yourself differently, and you start to see there is no loss. You can't lose what is inherently yours. Does that make sense? So that also means you can't fail, and that your gifts, your unique spiritual gifts, are designed for you to succeed. So that's the first step, is really creating a process designed from your unique gifts that is intimately connected to a specific real, live, breathing person and what they are going through and what they really truly desire on a deeper level. Then the second step is, how do you book calls with these people? So now you know who they are, but well, now what, right? Because it's one thing to see there's, maybe 10 people in your world that you're like, oh my gosh, I know them. I know what they need. I know what they think they need, and I know I can help them. But then what do you do, right? So how do you book calls with them so that they are pre-sold, that you're already, before they're on the call, removing rejection and removing their objections? So what you do here is, and this is the work I do with my clients too, is that, and this is very customized and very personalized, is that you create a very specific message only to them. It's not a copy and paste. It's not a template. It's not a script. It is designed specifically for them. And this comes through studying, knowing on a deeper level who they are, what, secretly their struggles are, and secretly their desires are, and speaking to that in your message to them. So they see that you truly do know them, almost sometimes better than they know themselves. And of course, when they start to see that, they know that you're different, that you see them differently, and you see something in them that they quite haven't seen yet. Then they're excited to get on a call for you. Does that make sense? So because you're leading from a place of authority, you're leading from a place of, and why you're leading from that place of authority is that your perception of yourself has changed because your understanding and awareness of your gifts has become more, you're allowing yourself to see something that you haven't been able to see before, because we can't see it on our own. That's why we need to work with, an objective, guide, mentor, coach to help us see what it is that we're capable of that obviously we don't see. We're pretty quick to, discount ourselves, or, we don't operate always regularly on our own at the highest level. So being able to work with someone that can activate that in you and keep that going, right? Instead of like, cool, I'm going to change. And then a week later, you're back to old way of being. All right. So step 3 here is, so now you know who they are, you know how to get calls with them. And then this part is, where are they? So who they are was the first step. Second step is how to get calls with them, so they're pre-sold. And then the third step is where are they? So what happens here is when you shift how you see yourself in your process, you do have a shift in how you see the people around you. So this happens all the time with my clients, where they're like, I don't even know, like I don't have anyone, there's no one, there is no one for me that, in my world, I just don't have, maybe a very big following. When we do this work, they start to list all the people they can help, like that. Like they switch how they see themselves, they switch how they see their gifts and their work. And they start to see, oh yeah, that woman that, I worked with a couple years ago, or that woman who just messaged me about something not even related to work, I can totally see how I can help her. So what starts to happen is, because your brain wiring has changed, it's not in protection mode, it's not in defense mode, it's in creation mode, it's in growth mode, it's in evolution mode. You're activating that right creative side of your brain that's like, this person, that person. And then honestly, I saw this with my client recently. Names started coming through her. And it was amazing, because before it was like, oh, there's no one. And this is what's possible, is that because you have changed how you see yourself, you have changed how you see your work, you start to feel that authority, and how you do what you do, only you can do. Even if there's 10,000, a million other coaches doing something similar, that the way that you guide your clients, and that the clients that are designed to work with you in that process, they can't get anywhere else. And that all comes back to, based on your experience, your upbringing, how you were shaped, and how that upbringing and childhood experiences has shaped your perspective, and how that contributed to your unique process, which comes from your unique gifts. So as that starts to shift and you start to see people, this also, of course, changes how you show up in your marketing, how you show up on your videos, how you show up in your messaging, because, you can send messages to people and they can feel underneath what's really going on. If you don't trust yourself, if you don't really believe in your process, if you don't really, believe you can help them, if you don't even actually know them, like if you're sending those, sort of blanket messages. But when you are doing this work, this deeper work, how you are being changes. So everything you do changes. So your messages come across like, holy cow, like I have to work with this person. This person knows what they're doing. This person can get me results. This person, there's no other person like this. And this is the person they must work with. So that's, why you don't have objections on your sales calls, because they see you differently, because you see yourself differently, because 100% confidence that you can get the results that they desire. You're confident in your delivery because you've done the work to understand your process and how it's designed for them and where it comes from. Got it? Okay, so this is exactly the work I do with my clients in my 90-day intensive. So we go deep. We uncover your unique spiritual gifts. We look at your past programming so we can change that past programming. And we also look at the gifts of that past programming. There's something that shaped you to see the world the way you do. And a lot of times that's inherently connected to your gifts, which is a lot of times why we don't see them. And then we work through how that unique perspective and your unique spiritual gifts, that how you are designed and wired, how that is matched with very specific people. And specific in also the respect that they will get phenomenal results with you. Even if they've worked with 10 other coaches and haven't gotten results, you're the one that's going to switch that for them. Got it? Because again, it's like shifting your being has to happen before anything else happens. You can't just change your strategy and change your avatar and change your messaging. It has to come from a very much deeper place, and it has to be integrated. It can't just be like, oh yeah, I think I'm good. It has to be a much deeper, come from a much deeper level than that. So as you become aware of this and you see the power, the impact, and the value of your work, that's when you, like, your right brain is activated. You are creative. You are thinking of all the people you can help. You are, seeing the exact right words that you need to use with those exact right people in your messaging and in your marketing and your videos. Like it's really, it's really amazing, honestly. So what happens when you have this really like massive shift within, which again doesn't need to take a long time, this has happened after 1 or 2 sessions with me, is that you don't feel that sense anymore that you have to compare yourself to anyone, because you see there's no comparison. You don't feel you have to convince anyone to work with you. You don't have to prove anything. You're simply offering an opportunity for someone to get the results that they desire with you. And of course, that's what makes receiving 10K in a week no problem, even after many months of being in the desert. Got it? So if you are just tired of those stretches of time where maybe your sales are going down, or you're just not having any sales, and you're maybe just ready to work with a different type of client, so a client that you actually look forward to the calls, that you love working with, that you're bringing more fun, you are freeing up your schedule because you're only doing the things that really light you up and working with the clients that light you up and receiving a rate that lights you up. Send me a DM and we'll get on a call and I will show you exactly where that 10K is hiding, because it is right around you right now. All right, I don't see any comments, my lovely friends. So I will get out of here. And if you post questions or comments on replay, I will come back and answer those for you. All right, can't wait to talk to you. Bye.